Welcome to the Heaven and Rock podcast. Today, I am very excited because today we have the Down Boys in the house. Hell yeah. Guys, can you do me a favor, introduce yourselves? And yeah,
So on the right of me, we got
Dewey lead Austin bass guitar.
bass guitar. I'm the drummer, Owen the Machine Berg.
Yeah, my name is Tommy Starr. I am the lead singer and lead guitar player and the sex appeal of the band. And to the left of me here, we have our manager. We call him OP.
What up?
he does have the manager look because he has like the suit and he's wearing the shades.
Yep.
Oh, he's
And,
business all the
yeah.
time.
That gives it away. Cool, dude. So I'm very, very happy to have to have you guys on the interview because over the past couple of years, a lot of new rock bands have been coming through the surface. I think ever since the Dirt, I don't know if you guys have seen the Dirt, the Motley Crue film on Netflix. I think that kickstarted a lot of younger generations to come out and start playing rock and roll. So I'm just very happy and very excited to see younger rock and roll bands trying to keep the genre to relevant to the mainstream. Can you talk about how what was the inspiration and what made you guys go specifically hair metal?
Well, for me, I always grew up listening to it. I would watch Bon Jovi, live in London. And ever since I was a young kid, I was all about rock and roll. That was pretty much my life growing up, still is. Every time I get a paycheck, it goes straight back into the band. New guitar, new microphone, skinny jeans. That's what the Downbars are about. We are about rock and roll all the time, 1,000 miles an hour. We live fast.
Hell yeah.
And so
Yeah.
that's for me. And with that movie, The Dirt, coming out, that was really cool. Seeing that for us, I think that kind of put a lot into like kind of what it takes, like just having to just be able to bleed, you have to bleed, cry, sweat over, to make it to the top. And, us three here, at least, we're down to do that. We're down to go all the way, and so luckily we have someone business here to, make it logistical, But anyways, yeah, no, that's kind of our inspiration, at least for me. Sex, drugs, and rock and roll, baby, all day.
But definitely, if you are in, for the music for the long haul and not, not just for the money, then you'll definitely, you definitely make it because in order for you to succeed doing music, you have to embrace that as your lifestyle, and you have to work hard, all the time, because that's how all of the bands that we listen to, that's how they made it. They made their music their own lifestyle. Now, let's say that if I ask you, what are your, what's the best way to ask this question? So if you could describe the sound of the Down Boys in 3 bands, what would it be?
Oh,
3 words.
3 bands.
3 bands.
Of course. Dude, not the fucking who. Van Halen won. 100% Van Halen.
Do you want to say Motley Crue? I mean, we did take a lot of inspiration. It's funny you said that about The Dirt. We did actually watch that as a band.
That
Take a
was
lot
our
of
homework.
inspiration from that. So
I'd say Van Halen for sure. Motley Crue. What about you, Dewey?
Metallica, probably.
That's fair. We're pretty metal when it comes to that.
I freaking love Kirk Hammett, dude. His solos, like especially the one on Creeping Death, dude. I love that stuff.
That is heavy. That's heavy metal.
Much definitely. And I was watching one of the clips, and you guys, I can tell that you guys put a good performance on one of the clips because he had one of the. I didn't really watch the full song, but on your Instagram page, you guys have one clip where I think like the guitar player is playing a really sick solo, and I can just feel the energy and and I can just feel the, the vibe of the entire band.
You know, we have to get that a lot. Our manager and guitar player were actually hanging out with Alice Cooper the other day, and they take that a lot from. They were talking. He said you got to grab the audience by the throat, and I know Tom takes that really to heart when he's up there performing and leading the band.
Oh, 100%. I mean, it's like, you go to these, pop concerts. Obviously, I think the only exception here is Travis Scott, but you go to any, like mainstream artist concert and you're sitting in the audience and like, what the fuck is this, versus like you go to a rock concert, like Guns N' Roses or I went to Van Halen. I mean, Jesus, the guys are like 60 years old and they're putting a kick-ass show on. And so we're just so tired of seeing, these people go out there and just put on a lousy show. I mean, we go out there, we literally grab you by the throat and we're going to tell you we're here. All right. You're going to watch us and we'll let you go in probably, an hour or two. And that's how we do it,
And it's so cool that you guys are doing that, because what happens is that, when I go to a rock show, I don't want to see dudes, wearing jeans and t-shirts, playing their instruments. I want to see a show. I want to see the band embracing their presence. And I want them to put up performance. And, if you are a fan of, Van Halen and Alice Cooper, they definitely, they don't just play music, but they they end up creating a theatrical performance, and they end up going all the way so they can capture your audience in a sense. So I'm very happy to hear that you guys are doing that. Are you guys working on an EP right now currently, or what is the next? What's going on in the next couple of weeks for the Down Boys?
We do have a few originals, but just with all the shows that we've had booking up, we haven't had just too much time to, get recording, but that's definitely in the plan for the near future, I think.
Yeah. So, for the most part, I'd say I probably am writing most of the songs, just from a lyrical standpoint. But with all of us being in high school still, we find it hard to kind of, also play shows and, do the recording. So I think for right now, we put a lot of our focus on kind of promoting ourselves as a band. And then, we're always writing. I'm always writing stuff. It's a good way for me to like escape. And so I'm always writing. And so we got about 3 or 4 songs that we're ready to start recording in the summer here. And we're pretty stoked to introduce the Down Boys to the world. And, I don't want to say we're bringing heavy metal back, because personally, I don't think it ever died. If it did die, we wouldn't be here right now. And so, we're here, and we're gonna change the scene. I think that's our goal. Is just, we're here to play heavy metal and play to a lot of people. That's what we're doing.
That's the attitude, dude. And I think I heard you say that you guys are in high school. Did I miss that, or did?
No, we're in high school.
Dude, that's freaking rad. Like, that's freaking rad, because it sounds like you guys are a younger band. That means that, and again, I'm not trying to say that, that the older bands are bad, but the fact that, you guys are younger, and again, there are more younger bands that are picking up rock and heavy metal. It's the genre continues to grow in a sense. So that means that, like, dude, you guys must have like really cool shows in high school.
Yeah, it's, for us, it feels pretty good because we live actually in the Midwest, and so there's not a lot of that going on other than country, and country's ass. And so, people come and see us and they're like, holy shit, I can't believe this. Like, I thought you were just like watching those Van Halen videos because you're lazy in school. And it's like, no, I'm doing my homework, man. Like, I'm figuring this out. Like, I'm here to put on a good show. And no one's like ever experienced this, like people come up to us and like, did you write those songs? Like, as much as I'd love to take credit for that, but I can't. I gotta give credit where it's due. It's like, no, man, that's Detroit Rock City, and it's kind of sad that people don't know that songs, but we're here to show the young people, the young generation, what music's about.
You're here to educate the kids and give them the gift of rock and roll in every show that you do. Dude, can you talk about,
Amen.
yeah, dude, like, can you talk about meeting Alice Cooper? Because when I remember when we were talking and then you told me that you met Alice Cooper, like on when you were going to church, I was like, wow, dude, I wish I could have
Yeah.
had that encounter. That was freaking awesome.
So check this out. I just got to church, and sadly I showed up late. But so I'm sitting down in church, right? And the worship music's going on, and I see this guy. He's got long black hair, leather jacket, looks exactly like Alice Cooper. And I'm sitting there thinking, and I'm like, oh my gosh, is this Alice Cooper? And I'm like, there's no way. There's no way. I only saw the back and side of his face. I kind of tapped my mom on the shoulder and was like, is that Alice Cooper? And she's like, no way, no way. He turns around to, like greet us or, like say good morning. And I shook his hand and I looked right into his eyes and I was like, are you Alice Cooper? And he started laughing.
The moment
And
of
he was like,
truth.
yes, I'm Alice Cooper. And I literally started to
Hyperventilate.
yeah. So I was like, I was like, oh my gosh, this is Alice Cooper. He's sitting right in front of me. The chances of him being right in front of me at church, like I was blown away. It was one of the coolest things I've ever. And we got to talking after, and because he had a show there that day, and just him kind of giving me advice about what's it truly like to to kind of like live this lifestyle, like what it takes, just like you know sleeping in a van while you're out on tour, stuff like that. And he talked to me about what it was like going on tour with Motley Crue and Marilyn Manson, and just like how crazy it is, and like the fact that like it can happen, as crazy as it sounds. It's like you know he's just he was just a normal kid too, and look at him now, 50 million records later. So it's kind of like no doesn't exist in this type of lifestyle. You can't, the word no doesn't exist. You can't
Much definitely. And I don't know if you've seen, but there's a documentary. It's called, I think it's called Hired Gun, and it has Nita Strauss, the lead guitar player of Alice Cooper, and a couple of other people from from the rock music scene. And if you guys have not watched it, I highly recommend it because it talks about the sense that you don't necessarily have to pedestalize the idols that you look up to in a way, because once you start putting them in the pedestal, and it's great that you look up to them and everything else, but what they're trying to say is that they're just people like you and me. They're simply people that work their asses off to get to where they are, and they had one vision, they have one goal, and they went out there to pursue it. And it's the same thing with like the dirt and everything else. It all began with a vision. It all began with that focus that you have in your mind to pursue after your goal. And I'm really happy that you got to talk to Alice about that, because Alice is he's such a genuine dude. Like, he is such a genuine dude. And if the opportunity comes, he would definitely give you the time of day, and he would speak from his heart, from his. He's not like one of those artists that has like a huge ego and everything else. Alice is awesome.
Yeah, I'm glad that we got to meet him now versus like if I'm sure the conversation and greeting him would have been different if it was back in the 70s.
Much definitely, yeah.
So
Yeah. Cool. So now another thing that we were talking about when we were messaging was that the fact that you are working out, and you are trying to maintain a healthy lifestyle, and that carries into your performance. Can you talk about how that has happened?
yeah, so at least for me, geez, I don't know. Me and my bass player here both, we've lost a significant amount of weight. And uh if I'm being honest, for me, it at least started because, girls want to talk to me. They want to talk to me. Like, and so, I started working out. I started working out. And another reason is too is like I don't want to be mean here, and I totally agree that like no one should judge you based on how you look. But when you look at the industry and you look at, these really successful people, the ones who, are looking good usually tend to succeed better. And for me, I kind of took that as like, okay, well, I could bitch and pout about how fucked up the system is, or I could take initiative when honestly, I did need to start taking care of myself. I did need to do that. I was overweight, I was obese, I was gross, and now that I've started to work out, my performing's better. I have a better like mental health about this stuff, and I'm ready to rock and roll. And it totally feeds into it. I mean, especially the shows we put on a year ago, no way I would have been able to do that. No way. I mean, I would have been dying. And so,
It's just another instance on where us compared to other people, we're prepared to take it all the way. Like he'll do anything, we'll do anything.
oh yeah, 100%.
Hell yeah, and that's the attitude that you gotta have. And dude, like this is, I feel like this, health and musicianship, it's something that gets, sometimes it doesn't get, there's not a lot of attention that goes to that. But if if you start looking at or watching documentaries of, successful guitar players and rock stars, they take care of their bodies and they take care of their own lifestyle. Because what happens is that if you take care of your body, is like a machine, and if you take care of it, then you're going to be able to perform so much better. Like Nita Strauss, she has her own body shred challenge where
She's beautiful.
she is she is
Yeah,
awesome. She is
she's
awesome, dude.
wonderful. She stole the show at Alice Cooper, that's for sure. Eyes were locked,
And if you
100%.
and the cool thing about it is that if you look at all the other things that she does, like she's always like during those 2 whole hours, she's always running around the stage, freaking like flipping, her guitar and whatever.
She's
And
awesome.
that takes stamina. So a lot of I'm glad that you guys are, trying to get into a better shape, because the other thing is that, and I'm sure that you can agree with this as well, is, we all want to see the best. We all want to be with the best. So you have to be the best, within yourself.
Oh yeah, 100%. And I think especially in this, especially in this day and age where like, you have people, saying it's okay to be lazy. It's forget, all the other, all politics out of this. But, you know, I think we live in a day and age where people are starting to get soft and they promote laziness. There's a difference between being lazy and there's a difference between, you know, having a drive and having a purpose and having a vision for one thing. Why the hell would it make sense for me, to, like study hard in like AP calculus when, I'd rather be reading, poems of Dylan Thomas and, listening to Bob Dylan songs when for me personally, that's going to help me, be better. And like now today we live in an age where it's like, you know, oh, it's okay if, you don't achieve these certain things. And, for me, I think that as a society, we need to be honest with each other and just come out and truthfully say, like, if you want to get shit done, you need to do shit that no one's willing to do. And honestly, like for us, it makes it pretty easy for us to gonna be successful because it doesn't take a lot of hard work anymore, and that's kind of the sad truth. I mean, we're willing to die for rock and roll. And so it's going to make us go to the top a lot easier, especially when there's, no one's willing to put in the work. And it's sad because there's a lot of wasted talent and potential out there. Who knows? I'm not saying I'm going to be the next Eddie Van Halen. And I personally, I find that blasphemy. But, I think that, there could be someone out there, but who knows? Because no one's pushing each other to get outside their comfort zone.
Dude, and especially nowadays, like if you think about it, now with the smartphones and the way how technology is advancing, now like everything is a tap away on your phone, right? Like you want to order food, you can just go to your app and order food. If you want to, I don't know, like listen to music, you can just go in and look it up. just pretty much everything is just a tap away from anything really. So I
Yeah.
feel like a lot of people, I agree with you, a lot of people are getting lazy, and they're forgetting that great things take time, and you have to embrace being in the dirt, and you have to like embrace working your ass off for what you want to achieve. So that's a very solid point.
Yeah, no, and like honestly, at least for me, you know, I'm broke as frick. Like I have hardly any money, and I spend my money on two things: gas for my car, and I money on gear,
Gas and gear.
gas and gear. That's how we live. That's how we live. It's gas and gear. And we don't mind being in the dirt. This is where we thrive, because if you can succeed with a little bit, imagine what you can do with a lot.
Which definitely, and I wish that most bands would have this attitude, because when I'm talking to you guys, can already see that you guys have the drive and the attitude, just based on the way on how your perspective is set, and
Oh, thank
that's
you, man.
how yeah, dude, that's like the attitude that you have to have when you're at the top, and that's the attitude that you have to have when you're at the bottom. That's what this podcast is about, and that's what I try to show to most of my listeners, because it's about your mindset, and it's about the way how you commit. Another thing that I think is very interesting, and I think that you guys would also agree with this principle, but I don't think you have to be motivated to start working on your songs and on what you want to set to motion, because what happens is that as a new band or as a new artist, you can be motivated when you think about the idea of being motivated, but then after that, it's just work, and you have to put in the work when you don't feel like it, and you have to write songs when you don't feel like it, and the same thing goes when you feel like writing songs. You always have to commit to your passion, and you have to commit to your craft. Like, you have to show up and play a show, whether there are 6 to 8 people, and you have to show up to a show when there is a good crowd you know
Yeah, no, 100%. And I told these guys when we first started is like, we were worried about like, well, we're in high school and we're playing at bars, who's going to show up. And it's doesn't matter if you're playing to 4 people, because if you can't rock a house with 4 people, what the hell is going to give you the right to go out to Wembley Stadium and rock out to 90,000 people? It just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. And if these bands, out here today that, I think a big problem, we were talking to the guys down at Guitar Center about this, is, so many people nowadays are just feeling so entitled. Like,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
you have to earn that. You have to earn that right. You don't just get the right to be a new band and instantly, play at a club that seats 2,000, 3,000 people. You have to play the dive bars. You have to literally crawl your way out of the shitty dive bars, and if you can't find joy in that, then I don't think this is for you. And I'm sorry, back to another point I just remembered, sorry,
Yeah, dude, go
is
for it.
I love how you talked about it's you know motivation will inspire you first, but then it's work after that. And I totally 100% agree, because I think motivation and inspiration are about 20%, if even that. The other 80% of actually what will get you to success is dedication.
Hell yeah, much definitely, much definitely. Now, can you talk about, and I wanted to ask you this earlier, actually, what is the current gear that you have right now?
Oh yeah,
One
we could go
question.
all day. Berg, talk about your drum set.
Well, I got a 100% birch stage custom on right now.
Oh, a stage custom.
Yep,
Sounds
it's just
good.
a
Yeah.
classic, you know, the gigging kit is what we like here. My drum teacher actually had it a while ago, and I always liked how it sounded on the live performances, so I just got it myself. I have Evans G2s on it, the coated ones. I just like the punchiness of it, especially with the birch combo on it. I have a Remo power stroke on my snare just because I like the tone out of the Remo a little bit.
100%.
I have a full Zidulin A Customs cymbal kit with all those, everything in there. 16-inch crash, 18-inch crash, ride and hi-hat.
Dude, talk about your kick, bro. Your kick sounds legit, bro.
Yeah, we were either thinking about going with the 22 or the 20, and you would think
Yeah.
most rock bands would go with the 22, right?
Yeah.
We actually decided to go with the 20 just to go with something a little bit different. I like the punchiness of it compared to just how tight it really is. And people underestimate how much tone.
No,
you can
dude,
get out of it.
facts. Like, I remember I like almost kicked him out. I was like, dude, what the hell? You got a 20-inch? But,
Exactly.
dude, we played with it and it was so punchy. And you know what? A lot of people are going to disagree with us on this, but we actually don't even have it ported. We actually don't even have the kick ported. One, because we're kind of lazy. Two, we kind of like the muffled sound a little bit, we like to keep things just a little bit muddy, keep it a little bit muddy.
Mm-hmm.
You are creating your tone, you're building your tone. So like you have to,
Not just trying
whatever
to do what
you feel
everyone
works
else
for
is
you,
doing.
then you have to, Now, what about the
Awesome.
bass? What about those low ends?
I'm a big fan of. I know a lot of guitarists and bass players really go to tubes for live sound, but some of the only solid state amps that I will really play through are acoustic. I really like their 200
The
watt.
Guitar Center brand acoustic?
No,
Oh, I thought acoustic was Guitar Center brand.
I don't believe so. No.
Are you sure?
But when I'm not doing that,
That's heavy.
everybody complains about how heavy Ampeg amps are, like they're 100-pound heads, all tubes. Until you play through one, you have no idea what you're missing. I'm serious. Like that old SVT sound, you got Geezer Butler, every great bass player in the book. It's tried and true. I've been blessed to have been able to use that a couple times live when I feel like lugging that around. That's another part of staying in shape is you need to be able to carry all your.
You need to be able to carry your gear. Yeah.
But not for long because
That's
we're going to get roadies.
Basses. Basses. What I have right here is kind of my beater bass, but it looks the part. Is a Dean Custom Zone. It's
Ooh, dude, that
obviously neon green.
that
I love
neon
DR
green,
strings.
yeah.
These are obviously coated neon green DR strings. I really like Black Beauties that I play on my Fender Jazz bass that I bring out sometimes.
Dude, don't hit me with your stuff.
Let's see. Yeah, that's about it. You really can't go wrong with the classics is kind of my approach to a lot of things. When you're playing bass in a rock band, you don't need to be crazy John Entwistle or Billy Sheehan all the time. You got to serve the song, So that's why I really like P style and jazz bass style basses,
Dude, what's wrong with Billy Sheehan?
Nothing's wrong with Billy Sheehan. I didn't say anything was wrong with Billy Sheehan.
Okay, good. Because I thought you were going to say something's wrong with Billy Sheehan.
Speaking of Billy Sheehan, what I find really interesting about his setup is on his bass, he has kind of a
two.
He's
two
got
jacks.
One's obviously he has like the P bass style pickup in there, but above it he has like a Gibson EB style mudbucker. Those really have their applications. I used to have a Gibson EBO. I played a little bit. I didn't exactly thought it fit the Downboy sound, but once I heard Billy Sheehan kind of mess with it, I kind of kicked myself for selling it because it's crazy what you can get out of really simple gear if you really work around it. And I guess that's the underlying point of my whole setup I use.
Heavy.
So yeah, Tommy, tell us what you got.
Yeah. So, well, I've always been a big fan of Slash. Listening to a lot of 80s rock. Obviously the Super Strat, Floyd Rose, light guitar, like 24 frets. But I think it kind of takes away from the actual like ability of playing guitar. And so, I've always loved the look of a Les Paul. I mean, you look at
Beautiful.
that guitar and the
You can never go
flame.
wrong with a Les Paul, dude. Like
No.
Les Paul is like iconic.
And the fact that you don't get a Floyd Rose is, for me, it's like you can't rely on that. You listen to like a lot of 80s rock, and you know, I think that sometimes like a lot of people, like the band Poison, they have great stuff. Personally, I think CC DeVille is a shitty guitar player, and he just uses a Floyd Rose the whole time, kind of, and he just relies on that, and I think that kind of really takes away from like something that's good. He kind of like took it and turned it bad. So that's why I rock and roll with a Les Paul, most of the time. But there are, of course, times where you do need that Floyd Rose. And so I have a Richie Sambora Fender Stratocaster signature
Oh, sick.
with a one-way Floyd. So it's only one way. I don't get to pull up. One, the setup is so much easier. Holy cow. It's going to save so much time.
Your guitar
Two,
player would probably be thanking you. Yeah.
yeah, for real. Two is being able to pull up, like again, I look at a lot of new people who, get into 80s rock, and instead of actually bending the string, they're pulling up on the whammy bar. And it's like, dude, no. And so I think it really does connect you one to more with the guitar, is if you don't have that. So I rock and roll with I got it, a 2021 Gibson Les Paul 50 standard. And, we play with a lot of gain. So I actually took out the bridge pickup, the bridge PAF, and I put in a Steve Vai Evolution pickup. And wow, we play things like Motley Crue and stuff like that. I mean, that thing just screams.
Oh, I always wanted to try that pickup.
Oh,
Yeah.
you should. It's amazing. And then, I'm pumping that baby through a tube screamer, and then straight into my Marshall JCM 900 Mark III.
Oh, you got the JCM 800, dude. That's freaking awesome.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I remember it was at Guitar Center today, or no, not. We saw it at Guitar Center, and I was like, I need that. Like, what are the chances that one of those is going to come in here? And so, I mean, I pretty much had to sell everything in my room, to get that thing, and it was well worth it.
He won't even come over to practice without his amp. Like, he can't play one of my amps. He loves that amp so much.
Of course.
He will lug it in my room. Even it's massive. It takes up half my room, and it's the only way he'll practice.
Yeah, dude, I was working at Sam Ash Music for a while, and I got the opportunity to try on a lot of like amp heads and everything like that in the JCM 800. That is a gem. That's awesome. It sounds like you guys really have a good gear. Gear. So I can, your shows must be totally sick. Now, what upcoming shows are you guys do you guys have coming up now?
We're playing with some bands that are actually coming through town. A lot of them are coming on tour, and actually we were just rated one of the best local bands here. And so that's kind of an honor for us. I think one of our biggest shows is we're playing with this band coming out of Wisconsin. Yeah. They're coming. They actually heard about us, and we're like, whoa, that's awesome. So they're actually doing a country tour. Oh God, what's their band name? It's Revere something. I don't know. They're really good. They're pretty like heavy. They're like, how would you like metalcore maybe? They're like a Day to Remember type, kind of like.
So they're more like pop punk and metalcore, probably. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And then we're playing with this band called Airship Caravan. We're actually going to Minneapolis to play with them. They do like a lot of house tours and stuff like that. So we're pretty excited to go up there and do that. And then we actually got put on. We're headlining this car show. So we're really excited for that.
Massive car show.
Yeah, massive car show. How many people? Like, yeah. 3,000-4,000 people are gonna be showing up to that. It's gonna be wild.
I mean,
it's gonna be crazy.
That's a good number. It's that's a really good number.
And we feel honored that we got picked that. But honestly, and I don't mean to sound like an asshole here, but I do have confidence that we're gonna rock the shit out of that show. We're gonna
Dude,
rock it.
if you are, I mean, if you're a band, if you're a musician, you have to own up to what you do live and you have to own up to your skills. So in
Amen.
a sense, like, dude, I don't, sometimes I don't think that, when you own up to your skill and when you own up to, let's say you play a show and you're like, yo, dude, you know what, if we fucking rocked it. Personally, that's the way how you should represent yourself because you're owning up to your craft and you're owning up to who you are as a band and as an artist. So with all power to you, like I definitely take you up on the fact that you guys do great shows.
Yeah. And then we're working with this events company right now. It's kind of still in the process. Things are a little bit muddy with but if that all works out, we'll be playing so we live in like Sioux Falls, and so it's a town of like what, 200,000, 250,000, something like that. So in the summer they have these big block parties, and uh if all works out well, we'll be put on the bill for one or two of the days. So we're pretty pumped about that. And of course, just like the local bars and stuff around the area, like up in Madison, Sioux City, things like that, just really getting our name out there. And so we're pretty excited for what we have coming up, and especially with recording. We're starting recording up soon. No, we're super pumped. We're probably gonna record one of our live shows. Yeah. So
That sounds great. Now, before we leave the interview, I will make sure that I will put up the touring dates on the description, so that way your audience and new audience can see where you guys are at and can definitely come and catch you guys out there when you are playing shows for sure.
absolutely, yeah. Would you say email that to you?
Well, you can either email it to me or you can send me the dates and
Yeah.
yeah, in Instagram
Okay.
message just so I can
Perfect.
put it in the description, and that way, um, you know, people know where to go and all of that stuff.
Yeah, 100%.
Cool. Now, last question: if you guys could do a collab with anybody, who would it be and why?
Yeah, what do you mean
What's
like call out? Like if we could like play with someone or just like,
If you could write a song with someone or a
oh,
band, who
oh,
would you have and why?
All right, my taste is a little bit different from the other guys. I'm a little bit more old school sometimes, but personally, if I could sit down and write a song with anybody, I would have to pick Pete Townsend with the Hoop.
Oh
Just
yeah,
proven
yeah.
amazing composer. Knows he you have to be able to know how the puzzle pieces of music fits together. You have to know what goes where, and someone like that would really kind of help round out the edges. It's more where I'm coming from. Of course, these guys are probably going to say something more heavy metal, I suppose, but yeah.
No, what about the other guys? I feel like, you know what, that was a very broad question. I feel like every member has probably like a different answer.
Purse, who would you want to manage?
That's a tough question. Are we talking today's band, like bands that are alive right now?
No, anyone.
Yeah, anyone. If you think about
I
anyone,
think
who would
if
you?
I was born and I was alive in like the 70s or 80s, I love like Kiss, Motley Crue, Van Halen, just like this guy over here. They're just
Heavy.
amazing. It brings energy. That's where these guys get the inspiration from, and it'd be a thrill.
Yeah, but think about managing Kiss. The shit they would give you, the hell you would be going through hell more than that band ever did, probably.
Yeah. I think I'd be going through a lot of shit with those guys, but at the end of the day, it would be quite the experience.
That's why he's our manager right there. He's in it. All right, Berg.
Again, a little bit different taste from both of these band members. I'm gonna go with Kurt Cobain. Just how different he was and how he changed the whole entire music scene. We want to kind of do what he did in a sense. I mean, not in the same exact way, but we want to be like him and change the music scene again.
Yeah, Kurt is well, he did ended up killing, well, I don't want to say, he did, but Nirvana ended up having a big influence on the birth of grunge and the
Oh
end
yeah.
of glam metal. But in terms of the way how, he had he had a huge impact in the music scene as a whole. So yeah,
And
dude,
honestly, Kurt going out there and like killing glam metal. I mean, we play mostly hair metal, but the fact that, he killed pretty much the hair metal scene was probably the most heavy metal thing anyone could ever done. And honestly, we respect him for that. That's badass.
that's rock and roll. Yeah.
You know, throughout the history of music, everything changes. It doesn't stay the same. Things have to change. That's why we went from the early beginnings of hard rock to early heavy metal like Black Sabbath to punk, and then kind of back to hair metal once that died off. It's just things go back and forth. It's a constant cycle of change, and you have to do things as an artist to keep things fresh and to
Your
keep it
mom order
moving.
the pizza.
Why would you ask? Excuse me. So especially like the hair metal and grunge comparison, I think it's really interesting that it's very similar to what happened with like proto metal, hard rock going into punk.
Yeah.
Hair metal had a lot more radio kind of immortality than
It's kind of poppy.
it was. Yeah, it was something. It was like a more refined um, kind of blend of punk and everything that came before it because people could you could play it on the radio. It was fun music that you could listen to with your friends, but still had that rebellious edge to it. That's what we really like about it, and that's why we base our image off of that. Now with grunge, Kurt Cobain, all those other bands like Pearl Jam, uh, you have to have that sort of duality in your music. You need to be able to appreciate both sides. You know, so that's what I would say about that.
Facts. All right. So for me, gosh, there's so many good people. I think from a songwriting perspective, um, man, you know, I think Aerosmith. I love Aerosmith. Steven Tyler is such a cool dude.
Steven Tyler is a powerhouse of a
Yeah,
singer. It's like the dude's yeah, even now the dude's like it's killing it. Is
yeah.
great singer.
Oh man, me and Dewey Lee here over here, we were talking about this, but John Sykes from Whitesnake, holy shit, talk about an amazing songwriter. Um, but I think overall, God,
We may have
probably
to pick it
Sammy
up.
Hagar.
Dude, Sammy Hagar. Oh man, it's yeah, Van Halen went to, I think they went through like three different singers or two different singers, but Sammy Hagar is awesome. I prefer Van Halen with David Lee Roth, of course,
Oh, of
but
course.
dude, like Sammy Hagar, like you can't go wrong with Sammy Hagar.
No, Van Hagar was like honestly like I don't even consider him the same band. I mean, the music was absolutely different. The writing was different. I mean, it went from a party band to like, you know, you had David Lee Roth talking ain't talking about love, and then Sammy Hagar comes in and it's like when is it love, and so totally two different bands. But I think when you add in Sammy Hagar's solo career and what he's doing now, I mean, he's a huge inspiration for he's still rocking it, and so yeah.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I want to thank you guys so much for being in the Haven of Rock podcast. Again, if
Yeah.
we are going to be posting the next coming tour dates, so you guys can go and check out these guys on the road. If there are any upcoming bands that have the rock and roll attitude, these guys are it. Dudes, good luck with everything and keep killing it.
Awesome. Thank you, man.